We're just going to keep playing our football, just hit them hard all 4 quarters, see if they can stick with us.
What impressed you about that Dwenger performance in week 1?
We bonded as a team, we played unified, and we just brought over from last year what we're doing. So I think that was pretty impressive.
Looking at the tape and seeing what Northside did, you know some of those guys pretty well. What do you see as some of the big keys to this coming Friday's game, and what are you guys focusing on in practice to get ready for what they present?
Well, our O-line's going to have to shapen up. We're going to have to protect our middle gaps. We're going to have to hit their linebackers hard. They got a big interior front, so we're going to have to move them up the ball.
When you take a look at the impact of this game, they got a victory over Snyder. You're one of the teams to beat in the SAC. This is like an early season important game as far as the SAC goes. How do you guys approach it knowing that, it's just week 2, but this is a game that can help determine one of your goals that you set at the beginning of the season to win a conference title?
Well, yeah, here at Dwenger, we look at every game as just as important, because if you don't look at it the same way every week, you're gonna lose one week and you'll be like, what happened? So we just look at it as every other game.
Final question for me. What are you most looking forward to about this Friday night? It'll be the first time you guys hit the road this season.
I'm looking forward to play. So hopefully Corona doesn't get in the way.
Effort. Everyone gave effort 100%, and that's really what we preach here. We played as a team, which is that's the little things, the discipline that a lot of people don't have, and that's usually what leads to our success.
When you take a look at your week 2 opponent in Northside, what do you see that they do well? What do you know that you guys have to do well and work on this week during practice to be ready for what they present?
I think their offense is very explosive, so I think we need to preach defense. And if we stop them, if we don't let them score any points, they're not going to win, right? So I think we just need to preach our defense like we always do and come out ready to play.
Last week we saw Northwood beat Homestead. We saw Northside beat Snyder by 30. It was a real shakeup for the SAC. Maybe indicative of what we're going to see this year, where outside of football, it doesn't seem like you can really plan on anything. Mm-hmm. So knowing that it's going to be a week-by-week thing, how exciting does that make it to play in the SAC? Because every single game, every single opponent is going to matter quite a bit.
Oh, it's super exciting because, typically there's those teams that you underestimate, and you don't get to play as much as you should, and that's no disrespect to them, but that's just usually how it shapes out every year. So it's exciting to that's going to be very competitive this year, and it's going to be different. I like different.
How much do you relish the fact that you guys are playing here in week 2, and it's a game that could go a long way in deciding an SAC championship?
Oh, it's different, but it's awesome because it's just an early test. It gets us ready for later in the season.
What do you think is going to be the biggest key on Friday, and what are you most looking forward to about playing your first road game here in 2020 as a senior?
Biggest key for us is definitely defense, coming out ready to play, and I'm really just looking forward to playing another game with my brothers, and we're going to play it like it's our last, because it ultimately could be.
All right, appreciate it, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah, overall, I was very happy with the execution. Offensively, defensively, special teams. And I think being that it was game 1, you expect that might be an area where you have some difficulty. But overall, I think we did some really good things. Obviously a new offense, pretty similar defense. Obviously, we stayed pretty true to what we had done last year. So, overall, I'd say I was most happy with the execution. And going into this week, it's going to be absolutely vital that we execute in all 3 facets.
Yeah, what did you take from the tape with Northside? What are some of the things you know about them that concern you? And what are the things that you're working on in practice to be prepared for what you'll see Friday?
Well, speed training. I thought I had the tape in fast forward, I'll be honest. So, my goodness, very, very talented on both sides of the ball. We got our work cut out for us. It's a great opportunity. We see the greatest challenges as the greatest opportunity. So, we'll see where we're at. We got to contain things, obviously. We got to handle adversity. We know that they're going to hit some things. We know they're going to do some things really well. They're well coached, executing well. They got some high caliber guys. So we're back to Bishop Dwenger, focusing on ourselves. How can we get better? How can we execute better? Everybody knowing their assignments. It's going to be absolutely crucial. And you got to play team football, especially on defense. You can't be going out there trying to make extra plays. You got to do your job, and hopefully we can contain them a little bit.
Last week we saw kind of a shakeup, I guess, if you will, in the SAC with Northwood beating Homestead, Northside beating Snyder by 30. It's been hard to plan things this year. Everything's kind of been a surprise. Last week was kind of a microcosm of that in the football world. How exciting is that for you, though, as a coach, knowing that, man, every Friday you can't overlook anybody, and it's unpredictable as to what a Friday is going to look like compared to what you might think or
right.
What it has been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would all say, I mean, all the coaches in the SAC would stand firm and strong that it's a great conference year in and year out. I mean, you really don't ever take a Friday off. You know you have, great competition coming. To see those games and obviously, what we said to our guys is, listen, we don't want to be scoreboard watching, Things happen. We know that every team in this conference is solid, arguably the best conference in the state. I think that's always a conversation. So to see those, in particular those 2 wins that people are talking a lot about, what a great thing for our conference, and congratulations to those teams and those coaches. It just makes us all better. It's a process. It's a 9-game process so that we can all do well in the postseason and represent Fort Wayne down at Lucas Oil. So hats off to those guys. I'm proud of them. It's great to see and great to have for our conference.
Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Good.
Good
Thanks,
deal.
guys.